Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I want to talk about, should you buy your watch at the airport? Um, you know, People have different experiences on it. I'm just going to talk about mine. I've only bought one watch at the airport, and it was this guy, the Tissot Quickster. And I'll just briefly go over what I think are the pros and the cons. I'll go over the pros first. You don't have to pay tax. Buying a watch at the airport, depending on where you live, could be a big deal. If you live, if you're from the States and you live in a place where the tax is pretty high, like New York or California, that might be something that you want to think about, because even if you order the watch, you'll still have to pay the tax according to where you live. Sometimes they'll have a lower price than the normal retail. So not only will you not pay tax, but you also will have the added benefit of paying a lower overall price for the watch. And it's pretty fun, when you go away, you're looking to spend money, and I think that's part of the lore of it, right? They know that. That's why some of these airports, if you, they're, like by the gate, once you go through into the terminal, they're like mini malls. We're not far where I live. There's an airport. That terminal there is pretty amazing. You got all kind of shops and stuff like that, and they want you to spend your money. And let's face it, we want to spend our money. We're going on vacation. We're excited, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I will talk about the cons of getting a watch at the airport. Well, what happened to me was, I had been looking at this watch for some time when just before I initially bought it, and I couldn't get it for like a discounted price, which was a little weird because it wasn't a new watch. It's been out for a little while, but I couldn't really find it for below, I don't know, like 420, not even, probably like 430, 440, and it was retailing on Tissot's website for 450. So, I was trying to get it, as cheap as possible. And that bit me in the butt. So I ended up, I was in England on vacation, and I was looking at this watch at that time while I was away. And it so happened when I was coming back to the States, I saw it in one of these gift shop slash watch stores that you see. I mean, I don't know if it was a gift shop, but they sold other things like bags and like memorabilia, things like that. But it was kind of an upscale store. They had other watch brands, Oris, they had Seiko, they had Longines, they had it looked nice. It didn't look like it wasn't reputable like most of these stores in the airport do that sell these type of things. So anyway, I looked at the watch. I thought I was so sure about it, so I didn't really need to inspect the watch as much as I normally might. So I saw the watch. The salesperson took it out the case for me. I put it on, and I pretty much just said I wanted it right then and there. They sized it for me, and I left. Big mistake. So basically what ended up happening with this watch is I've had a problem with this latch from day one. It's never really closed properly. I mean, I've kind of modified it so that it closes better, but you see here, this part sticks up. Now, initially, this didn't stick up. It was quite flat, but when I would put it on, the security latch would always come off, and even this part here would on snap. It's happened a couple times. Actually, I remember one time this part came off, but the security latch didn't. So the security latch was actually holding it, and this was popped up, and it was the security latch was just like holding on to it. It was a little weird. And I had this is right after I bought the watch. Maybe, let me see. I got the watch in, let's see here, February. Okay, so it was a little while. It was in the summertime. I remember when that happened. But even before then, it's been like a headache because it's not tight. And then even at like, well, now that I've kind of tightened this a little bit so the security latch stays on, this part here, where the two, right here, let me show you if I can get it. Yeah, there you go. This joint here sticks up. So what ends up happening when I put it on my wrist presses it down and it pokes this part up. Let me show you exactly what I mean. So I'm wearing my everyday beater, did a video on that watch. It's really hard to see, but it pushes it up. It's a little bit better because I actually loosened this. But what it would do was it would stick out. It would kind of like stick out in a really funny way. Yeah, there you go. Kind of like that. And it's just a little unfair because for me, it was, not a particularly cheap watch. Yeah, there it goes. See, that's what it does. I don't know if you can see that, but it like sticks up and it's just, I know it's there, so it bothers me. I mean, it doesn't really feel uncomfortable. It feels pretty comfortable still, but knowing that it's like that is really, really irritating to me. Okay, fine, no problem. But since what I basically did was I did adjust these, even though that, everyone says you're not supposed to. There are quite a few videos on YouTube that shows you, just how to adjust it so you can tighten it. And that actually helped a lot with this, with that first security feature of, securing the latch, the clasp rather. And to be honest, if I didn't have the security latch, I feel quite confident that the watch would hold. It's not nearly as loose. So that tells me that there was something wrong with this part here. But the security latch makes it so tight, or initially it throws this part up. You see? So I did try to loosen it up, and I just kind of did it with my hand. And to tighten it initially, I took a micro cloth and I put it in between here and took like jeweler pliers and just squeezed it just a little bit, and it actually did a lot to improve it. So now it's super tight, and it was pushing this up. But I did loosen it a little bit just by forcing it out with my thumbs. But it closes, right? Now the next thing, the issue that I had, and just to reiterate, the clasp was an issue I noticed on the plane. Like, it was very loose. It wasn't, I'd wear the watch and then, I'd fall asleep or something, and the next thing I know, the security clasp is hanging up like that. And I'm like, okay, is that just me, or is something wrong with it? But it turns out there was something wrong with it. So from day one, that was an issue. The next thing is the spring bar here in the end link. I don't know if it was faulty or what, but I'll tell you what happened. I was at someone's house. I was at like a small party, gathering, if you want to call it that. And, we were talking, and, I was telling a story and I was gesturing with my hands. And in my gesturing, I kind of just clapped my hands, and the watch came off. The spring bar went flying, And I'm, not really sure how that happened. I don't know if it was a faulty spring bar or what. If it was damaged or it became damaged, I really have no idea. I'm assuming that it was like that because it was shortly after I bought it. It was within that same year that I bought it. So I'm like, okay, maybe that's just a fluke, but that's embarrassing. Like especially if you're a watch person, even, a lot of people don't care. They're like, oh, okay, the watch is broken, or they might even think it's, a cheaply made watch, whatever, but it's no big deal, right? But to a watch person, that's a huge deal. How could that happen? How could the spring bar come out, with, I mean, to tell you that I was gesturing is being nice, really, because from Tissot's perspective, it's being nice because really, there's no amount of gesturing that should take the spring bar off of the lugs. So I reinstalled it. When I got back home, I reinstalled it, and it came out again. I'm trying to think, when did it come out again? I have brain freeze, but I was doing something else, and it came out again, and I was like, that's it for this watch. I think I've worn it 20 times, probably less than 20 times. And it's such a nice piece. Like, I would really enjoy wearing it more, or enjoy wearing it, period. But it's just like, unacceptable to me, and the other thing that I wanted to bring out was about your warranty. You have a warranty, so if you do get a watch in the airport, all is not lost. You have the warranty, especially with these, these type of brands. Tissot is a reputable brand. If you have your warranty, or even if you don't have it, if you have your receipt, proof of purchase, they'll be willing to help you with it. But I'm the type of person, I have other watches, I'm the type of person that's just too much for me. Like, unless this was like a treasured piece initially. Like, one of my favorite watches was my Tag 1500 Professional, which I had for like, I want to say 7 years. I think I had it for like 7 years. Yes. Yep, 7 years. And that I would have did whatever to get that fixed. This wasn't that watch. So I had the warranty card. You can see here, there's no serial number there. I got it in Birmingham Airport in England. And this is when I got it. I got it in February of 2016. And, I could have used that, and they probably, if they didn't fix it, they probably would have replaced it, and they would have seen how bad it was. But I never did it. Like, I think in 2018, I happened to be by a Tissot store, and I didn't have the watch on me, but I explained to them what had happened, and they were really nice. Actually, they would just like, bring the watch in, we'll fix it. They didn't even say, well, let's take a look at the watch and we'll see what we can do. They were pretty much just like, we'll fix it. And the guy gave me his number, and that was the end of that. I never did anything about it. So, that again is on me. And I actually recently called them. I actually called Tissot's customer service and spoke to a person who, handles these type of issues. And, they say, I told them when I bought the watch in 2016, and, it was kind of laughable. And I explained, it said, yeah, I know, I said, the watch has been sitting in my box for, all these years, and I've worn it. I think I took it out once or twice and worn it like for an evening. But I don't wear this watch. And I explained that, and she was like, we'll take pictures of the watch and then we'll let you know. And then from there, you can send it in. If we'll cover it, we'll cover it. If you want to send it in and pay for it, then you could do that too. So Tissot's been accommodating with regard to that, but just the overall quality of the watch seems like it's good. So I don't know if it was an issue in the airport. I don't know if this watch was, just defective, or was it some sort of negligence, or something that happened at the shop in the airport. Like, I don't know, did they switch the spring bar out because they found it faulty on something else, for example? I don't know. So long story short, if you are, a type of person who's, gonna prioritize this type of thing, if you do have an issue with buying a watch at an airport, then I say go for it. You can't go into the store, obviously, because they're all these shops are in the terminal. Unless you're a frequent flyer, then that would be an option too. You could probably just return it to the store, but you could do so if you have a number to the company. But even better, I think, is having the warranty and using the warranty if you have an issue. I didn't use the warranty because that means, I am not the type of person. To me, that's like, if this was my only watch, I would have done it. If this was my favorite watch, I would have done it. But, I guess spending the $450, even though that's a lot, actually, this was 290 pounds. So in 2016, that came out to about $380, between $380 and $400. So I didn't even save that much. But if you're a type of person who will follow up on something like this, then I say go for it. If not, there are better options, because in the long run, I actually didn't save money. I wasted money, because this is a watch that I don't wear. So this is, $380, $400, where I could have put that money to another watch. So sometimes, just knowing yourself and knowing your circumstances, is beneficial, because really, I didn't save money. I wasted money. It would have been better for me to spend the $450 retail price on this watch and not have the issues that I have with it. Or perhaps maybe buying this at a brick and mortar store where I live, paying the full price, and if there was an issue, then that's easier to just bring the watch to where I bought it. All right, everybody, appreciate you taking a look at the video. I hope I left food for thought on whether you personally should buy a watch at the airport. I'm pretty sure there's other pros and cons that I didn't touch on. Feel free to leave a comment. I appreciate if you like and subscribe, and thank you for your time. See y'all on the next one. Take care.